Hey guys, welcome back to 4th and 21, a Bears podcast by Bears fans. I'm Arturo and this is Alex, and today we're going to be talking about our picks for the Breakout Defensive Player of the Year for the Bears. Um, Before we get started, obviously we're going to start off with some shots, just some good old Jim Beam today. And also, I'm sure he wants to bring up the beer he's drinking before we get started as well. We all know how this goes. Bear down. That was a good one.
Yeah. So I'm drinking the Strawberry Sky by Breckenridge Brewery. If you haven't tried it, which I'm assuming most people haven't, definitely give it a shot. I think it's a really good beer, especially if you're not into like heavy IPAs and things like that.
Which this is a not heavy IPA, but it's an IPA. F Cancer Can by Silver Moon. They bring it out every summer. They donate proceeds to cancer research and charities. So if you're ever around a liquor store and see one, pick it up. It's for a good cause and it's delicious. So
If you guys could help us out and hit the subscribe button, that would be amazing.
And also remember, these are our opinions. So comment below who you think your defensive player of the year is that you think is gonna, do the most damage on our side. And let's go.
All right, so I'm not going to go with the player that I think, like Khalil Mack's obviously the most talented player on our defense. I'm not going to sit here and say the most obvious person. I think he's going to have a great year, especially compared to last year where he didn't really do as much as he did in 2018. But I'm going to go with Akiem Hicks, actually. I know it's not hard for him to have a breakout year compared to last year because he only played in 5 games. First week, second week, third week, fifth week, and the 14th. I'm not even counting the 14th week because he was still injured and got re-injured in that game. So I don't really count that game. So he basically played in 4 games. I don't know if you guys remember, but he got injured really early on in the Oakland Raiders game, which ended up becoming a close game, but at the time I thought it was going to be a blowout. But yeah, it was that brutal. Do you remember that tackle?
He went to tackle somebody, his arm just
yeah, somebody ran into the back end of his arm, just bent it the wrong way. That was absolutely brutal. So yeah, if you guys don't remember, he got injured in week 5 against the Oakland, now Las Vegas Raiders. So, like I said, it's not hard for him to have a breakout season compared to last year. But in his, like I said, about 4 games, he did have 1 sack, 10 tackles, 5 quarterback hits, and 1 fumble recovery. So, before he got injured, he did pretty well.
Yeah.
Especially because he didn't really do anything in Week 14, so those really are just those 4 weeks. He didn't play in Week 4 just because of he had a knee injury that Nagy just called wear and tear. So, I'm not 100% what that is. It could just be something aging. Like you shouldn't have wear and tear in week 4.
No.
So he wasn't really healthy going really into week 5 even when he got injured. So those stats are pretty good for the first 3 games that he played. In 2018 he had a much better year, 7.5 sacks, 41 solos, 16 quarterback hits, which is that's 1 a game. You can't ask for much. Like he's not an edge rusher.
No.
So that's, I think, a really good stat. And then 3 forced fumbles. That's solid. So if he can get back to, and what I expect him to get back to in 2020 is something similar to 2018, for a couple of reasons. It's Chuck Pagano's second year. So they, obviously when there's a new coach, they take a couple years, especially defensively, when they change the scheme a little bit. It takes at least 2 years to kind of figure out the scheme and get used to it.
Yeah.
So it's going to be his second year. So I think defensively, the whole defense is going to get better because we're bringing back most of our core players. Roquan, Danny, Akiem, Khalil, Fuller, Eddie Jackson. So most of our defense is coming back, and so this is going to be their second year in his system, so I think that's going to be really beneficial. And the second thing is that we added Robert Quinn. So those 2018 stats were really good, and that was just with Khalil Mack on one side.
Yeah.
Now with Robert Quinn on the other side, I don't know how you block those 3 players. I really don't.
You basically have to have a guessing game every snapped.
Exactly.
Who's coming? So you got to be on your toes.
Well, and the
every
thing
time.
is, those three are probably going to come every time, and you can't keep them.
I already see a
one-on-one.
poster of all three of them like just coming at you with bare faces, and just it's like I would just.
And Akiem Hicks, I'm sorry, he's terrifying.
Oh,
with that beard, he's like the most. He kind of reminds me of Joakim.
In the winter,
Joakim Noah,
when he's down there and you see the snow just.
But dude, like he's the pump man on our defense, like Joakim was for the Bulls.
Yeah.
Like he's a hard worker. He never stops, and he pumps everybody else up. He's the one screaming on the sidelines. Like he reminds me a lot of him. So, him coming back on the field as well is going to bring the rest of the defense up just by his.
Yeah, the morale's going to go up immediately just having him out there.
Exactly, his
even
energy.
Even if he's not at 100%.
Yeah, so I think that he's going to make the defense as a whole better. But with Robert Quinn and Khalil Mack on either side, I don't know. You can't one-on-one with Akiem Hicks. He's an absolute monster. You can't one-on-one with either of our edge rushers. So I think our line's going to be absolutely unstoppable and terrifying to every quarterback that we play this year.
Oh, absolutely.
So for those couple reasons, I think he's going to have an even better year than he did in 2018. Also in 2020, I think he's going to be a lot healthier than obviously than 2019, but also because of COVID, I think he's had even more time to rest, so he's going to come out even healthier. I could be wrong about this, but so they haven't had off-season workouts, which I'm not sure if that's beneficial towards him or not beneficial towards him, because if he's a big ass dude, he's going to be lifting heavy ass weights, and to get the most out of a workout, you have to max out. So maxing out at home by yourself, dangerous. Can be really bad on your muscles, your knees, like if you're squatting, things like that. So hopefully,
unless you work up to that.
But I think him resting and not having all these off-season workouts and stuff like that, I think that it's going to actually make him healthier for next year. And also, he did spend a lot of time on the sideline last year, obviously, watching Chuck Pagano, watching his defense. And I'm sorry, but, you see a lot more from the sidelines than you do when you're in the game.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he was learning a lot more as well about the scheme, about other players that he's going to go against, especially divisional rivalries, Minnesota, Detroit, Green Bay. He got to watch all three of them once, if not multiple times, from the sideline. So he's going to have, I think, a lot more. He's going to have learned a lot more than a lot of our other defensive players that played last year, just because he got to watch it from the sideline, and he's a really intellectual, intelligent player. So I think he's going to use what he learned on the sidelines for next year.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, so not only is it his second year in Chuck Pagano's defense, but he also got to watch it more from the side. And, obviously, he was still in the room when they're going over defensive stuff. He's still in the defensive room going over tape with the rest of the players. So I'm not too worried about him, missing out on those games. He doesn't need experience. If he was a young player and he missed 12 games of the season, I'd be like, you know what?
Yeah.
It's a lot different. But he's been in the league long enough to where he didn't lose anything for next year by sitting out those 12 games. If anything, I think he learned more sitting out. Yeah. So for those reasons, I'm expecting Akiem Hicks, and again, obviously he's going to have better stats than 2019. I'm not saying he's going to break out from his 2019 stats of 1 sack and 10 tackles. Obviously, he's going to do better than that as long as he stays healthy. What I'm saying is I think he's actually going to do better than what he did in 2018 when he had a great season. So I think that's why he's going to be a breakout player. Do I think he's going to be the most important player on the field? No. But I expect him to have the biggest breakout season of all the players. I think he's going to be one of the most important players. Yes, having Khalil Mack and Robert Quinn on the sides, phenomenal. Without Akiem Hicks, though, what's to stop the teams from just running up the middle on us? Nothing. With Akiem Hicks there in the middle, they are not going to want to run up the middle against us.
No.
And so he brings a lot to the table defensively. So I'm really excited to see him come back. I really hope he stays healthy for the season. He's going to make a huge difference for the Bears. I wasn't going to do this, but I'm gonna make some predictions for next year. So he had 7.5 sacks in 2018. I'm gonna bump that to 20 or to 8.5 sacks. So I think he's gonna have 8.5 sacks. Tackles, I expect to be around 50. And let's see. I don't think he can up 3 forced fumbles, but I think he can hit that again. I think he's going to do 3 forced fumbles.
If you think about him, Quinn and Khalil, they're
2 fumble recoveries. Because with Robert Quinn coming off one side and Khalil Mack on the other, I think they're going to have, especially with Khalil Mack and his stripping ability, I think that, and for most quarterbacks, Robert Quinn's coming off the blind edge, so he's going to hit them in the back, and that's going to cause, I think, a lot of forced fumbles as well, because they're going to be worried about Mack. And so I think Akiem Hicks is going to have a lot of opportunity to pick up fumbles. So 8.5 sacks, 50 tackles, 50 plus tackles, 3 forced fumbles, and 2 fumble recoveries. That's my prediction for his 2020 season, as long as he stays healthy and plays 16 games. So, yeah.
I don't think it's that hard for him to get 3 forced fumbles or more, because, like you said, it was just him and Khalil. He has another big guy up there that, honestly, they know Akiem Hicks, but they're not going to be looking at him. He's
not
coming
when
off
you have
injury.
the
They're
edge
going to be
rushers
looking
that
at
they have.
Robert Quinn and Khalil Mack, which gives Big Boy the lane to go up and
he gonna
smash.
eat next year. He gonna
and also,
eat.
like you brought up, players have tunnel vision when they're out there. They only see what's going on.
Exactly.
For someone to sit on the sidelines that long and learn what, like, you've been on the sidelines where you see them and you're like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
you see it happen in a whole season pretty much of seeing that. For one, it's going to make him hungry to get out there and do it himself.
And he doesn't need the
two, he
experience.
knows how to do it. He
Yeah.
doesn't have to charge. He knows how to wait his turn and then attack and maul that guy.
As long as he keeps that arm out of there. I really hope he looks like Gronk next year with that giant fucking arm brace that Gronk
Whatever
wore.
keeps it safe, dude,
I want to see Akiem Hicks out there. Oh,
If he
also,
wants to have an
wait,
Iron Man arm
something
on
I
there,
forgot to
I
mention
don't
about
care.
2018. He also had a touchdown.
That was amazing.
He had 1 rush for 1 yard and 1 touchdown.
Who's going to stop him?
But no one's going to stop
If
him.
you see him
So,
running in a no.
Do I think he's going to score another touchdown in 2020? No, because I don't see us putting him in that situation for him to possibly get hurt after he was unhealthy in 2019.
That's probably
and
what
how
did
big
it.
Of a,
That's probably what did
it
it.
must have been that 1 rush. But I don't think he's going to have any offensive plays, but that was a fucking awesome play, and I always love bringing that up because it was the Fridge 2.0. And
Yeah.
I never got to watch the Fridge live, you know? And so getting to see a second, like, coming of it,
Even
especially with Akiem Hicks, who's one of my favorite
Split
players,
second.
it was phenomenal. So, and probably one of the best moments in his career. So yeah, I forgot to mention that, but I don't see him doing anything on offense in 2020 just because I don't see them risking his health. 2018, he didn't really have any health issues, so it wasn't a concern. 2019 with injuries, elbow, knee, I don't see them using him in the offense again. But yeah, I think he's going to up his numbers from 2018 when he had a great season. Do you have anything to add to the Akiem Hicks?
I mean, I'm excited for it.
Do you agree, disagree on his season getting better?
Oh, his season for sure is going to be better. I think we're watching it in a different perspective. I think analysts and, other players are going to be looking at it as, oh, he's coming back. But they don't realize the impact that it has on the entire team.
Yes, on the entire defensive team.
So,
he's their morale guy. Like I said, he's Joakim Noah for the Bears.
He might get those stats. He might not. I don't really think it matters because, if anything, he's going to come close to that. But I think just having him out there healthy it's like having Derrick Rose out there healthy in a way. It just boosts morale. He's not the it guy.
Well, Derrick Rose was the it guy, so.
But as someone that's a Bears fan, he was the it guy on defense. And he left. We got Khalil, so we were like, oh, we're good. We weren't good. Because, like you said, he was that Joakim Noah.
Yeah.
He didn't just come out there with muscle. He had his spirit, his voice, which was the most important thing, and his overall presence in all of those forms just collectively brings up the team.
I'm glad you brought that up because Khalil Mack, while he's definitely the best player on our defense.
On the field, yeah.
he's probably the best player on our team. Let's be honest. There's no one better on offense than anyone better on our defense.
No.
So Khalil Mack's our best player, but he's a silent leader. He doesn't like.
He uses muscle. He doesn't.
Yeah, he uses he's just a silent leader. He leads by example. Akiem Hicks is that pump up guy. Like I said, Joakim Noah. I cannot think of a better comparison for somebody. He is literally that guy that is going to work his ass off, and he is going to get everyone else pumped. And he literally looks like a fucking bear. Like, he is a bear, and he is a beast. And he, with Khalil Mack being out there and last year and not having Akiem Hicks as the moral guy to bring everyone up, to bring up the excitement.
On that role, and he couldn't do that.
Yeah, he couldn't amp up the team the same way. So, I think the Bears suffered for multiple reasons not having Akiem Hicks out there. So, like you said, even if he doesn't get these stats that I think he'll get, he's still going to make a big impact on the rest of the defensive players.
Yeah.
All right.
Which is kind of like my thing with Cordero Patterson. I was like, it might not be the fact that he's gonna, be this explosive. Like, it's all about how it helps the team cohesively. Like, once one guy starts doing his part just a little bit more than you expect, and he shows his potential, the entire rest of, because the Bears are that kind of team. It's a team. It's not just being on the Giants and you're the star and fuck
OBJ.
the rest of the team.
Wow.
Not my words, but yeah.
Called out OBJ. Didn't have to say it, but we all fucking knew he was talking about.
I saw the hair in my head when I was talking. But yeah, it's all about. That's the thing that's going to be a theme with the Bears, I think, is what it does to the other players. Because it's not all about you.
Yeah.
It's cheesy, but there's no I in team.
It is super fucking cheesy.
There's an I in Chicago, but
there is.
We all know that as fans, so.
But we shouldn't talk about that.
Well, I like that pick, and I'm really fucking excited to have him back. I just want to see it. I want this
it
to
hurt
be over.
to not see him out on the field last year.
Bear down.
Bear down.
Ooh.
Just delicious.
Yeah. It's like molasses.
All right, who do you have?
Melted. Well,
I have a feeling I'm not going to agree with this pick.
I feel like you're not going to agree with anything I say the entire time, but that's why I talk through it, and then I get to the point where you're like, oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, all right.
So for me, it's going to be Kyle Fuller.
Okay, I don't have a problem with that, actually.
There's a lot of reasons. For one, besides, I'll bring up Leonard Floyd, even though that.
Well,
it's not the same, but out of our draft picks in the past 10 years, Fuller is honestly, in my opinion, one of my favorites, besides Kyle Long.
Yeah. He gets a lot of unnecessary shit.
Yeah, because you expect him to do. You see him do those all these
great
little things that are they become little because he does them all fucking day.
Yeah.
He covers his man. He blocks interceptions, and then when he can't do it, you're like, what the fuck, man? And it's all right, tone it down.
100%.
You don't say that to every other player.
He's definitely, I'd say, one of the top corners in the league.
He gets a lot of shit. Since 2017, forced incompletions, he is number 2. The only person that has more is Gilmore.
Wow. That's a great name.
2017.
That's a great name to be right in front of you, Stephon Gilmore.
And then it's Darius Slay, Marlon Humphrey, and then Casey Hayward.
I didn't realize Darius Slay did that well.
Yeah. You just hear about him for other things. But in forced incompletions, those 5 guys yes, but being in that category with those other 4, who
was the 4th? Marlon Humphrey?
Who thinks that? Kyle Fuller?
He does fly a little under the radar.
Last
year,
Last year he had 72 solo tackles to Darius Slay's 36. Literally
72.
Literally half.
Speaking of Darius Slay, he had that great shoelace tackle.
Yeah.
Against Detroit last year that ended up saving because it was, I believe, a 4th down. Yeah, that was a great tackle right near the goal line. Double
the solo tackles.
That's insane. I didn't realize he had that many tackles.
Again, you said Chuck Pagano. He's getting used to it. I feel like Kyle Fuller is a player that he knows what he can do and he's got potential, but also I feel like he tries to please his coaches a little more than just being selfish and doing what he wants. So I feel like he kind of struggled in a way in not just seeing his full potential and going out there and giving it his all in certain regards, where if he fucked up and didn't get an interception, or he...
I think last year he didn't play as aggressive.
Yeah, exactly. And I think he was also adapting to a new system and what he can do in that system.
Yeah. So
take those 2 years, he's going to go from kind of toning it back and also knowing from the previous
So wait,
year
he had 72 tackles last year.
72 solo tackles.
So he's going to break out and have more this year?
I'll get there before I get to the end. I think he's going to have 82 tackles this season.
80? Dude, you know how hard it is to have 82
82
tackles?
solo tackles.
Okay, hold on, though.
So
wait, tackles can be misleading with corners because that could mean that your wide receiver's catching a lot of balls.
Yeah. That's true. Okay, I mean, yes, but he was also 25th in the league for solo tackles. Obviously, you see the difference when it gets up, because then they have 115, 100, because yes, they're up on the front lines. They're getting tackles more. To be able to chase someone down, or like you said, get those tackles that someone slips out and you get to get them, you still have to cover the entire field. I think it's harder to get that many tackles than to just be put in front of people. I also think there were a lot of edge
rushes against the Bears last year as well.
There were, and he took care of it.
Yeah, no, I like Kyle Fuller.
The coverage,
a lot.
The solo tackles, the most forced incompletions besides one person.
Yeah, and he's widely considered as the best
in the league. Yeah, he was. I mean, last year he was considered in the top 25. Kyle Fuller was top 25. He was in the top 11.
If I'm not mistaken, his brother Kendall Fuller was a free agent this year that I really wish that the Bears would have picked up. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he was.
Picked him up.
Okay, yeah.
Activated him.
Dude, that would have been a sick duo, though. The brothers on the edges, 2 Macs on the team.
I mean, he's pretty much started since he got into the league. He had an injury in 2016. I was worried when that happened because I was like, oh, he's not going to be as explosive. And then he got explosive. Again, he got aggressive, and then this last year he kind of toned it down just a bit.
Yeah, what were the interception differences between 2018 and 2019? 7-2 or something like that?
7-2, I believe it was
3.
Okay, 3 interceptions. I think he can get 6 easy this year. If he gets back to his aggressive mode where he's not worried about I think that's the thing too, is he worries about fucking up, and it's like, don't worry about that. Just go out and do, because you have the potential, you have the ability. We don't even have to look at potential. We know it's there.
Yeah.
But you need to know that you can do it.
If I can say something, I think 2018 we had a better pass rush, and therefore 100%. They wanted to do quicker passes. And Kyle Fuller, that's what he does the best. That's what a lot of corners do the best. The more time that the wide receiver has to run around, it's harder to stay on them for longer. And so with having a pass rush that's probably going to be better than 2018, quarterbacks are gonna go back to a lot of quick throws, and that's when Kyle Fuller is at his best.
Yeah.
He jumps routes really well.
Yeah, you can't do that to him. If you think you're gonna get him with that. So
I can definitely see that he'll go. I could see him going back up to 6 interceptions, and maybe his aggressiveness wasn't as low last year. Maybe it was just the fact that our pass rush wasn't as good, and so quarterbacks held onto the ball longer. They had longer routes. 2018, I feel like teams tried to make it really quick routes, tried to dink and dunk on us, because if our pass rush gets enough time, they will get to the quarterback. Yeah. 2019, I don't think people were as worried about that. 2020, you should definitely fucking be worried about it. And if you're going to try and do a quick route on Kyle Fuller, he's probably going to jump it.
Yeah. He's going to get in front of you, and you're not getting shit. And I'm sorry, that's just going to bump all your wide receiver stats, because what do you expect to happen?
Don't start anybody on your fantasy league next year against Kyle Fuller.
Yeah, if they're playing the Bears, bench that fucker.
Although, the thing is about Kyle Fuller, though, is he doesn't play both sides. And so most wide receivers that you're going to have in fantasy are probably going to go to the left side to stay away from Kyle Fuller.
If they're smart. If their coach is smart.
Because he only plays on one side. So, but yeah, off topic.
But yeah, I mean, it's a little different than Akiem Hicks because he has been proving himself the past years. He's Pro Bowler the last 2 years, obviously. And he just doesn't get talked enough about.
Yeah, he does seem a little underrated. Like if you talk about top corners, I feel like a lot of people would probably leave him out.
Yeah, I mean...
Like, they put him in their top 10, but, like, he should be a top 5 corner for sure.
Like you said, solo tackles, there's stipulations, right? The top cornerbacks right now... Okay, so A.J. Boye only had 50. Kenny Moore had 50. Shaquille Griffin had 45. Brian Poole had 48. Darius Slay, obviously, 36.
Darius Slay, I feel to be a little overrated.
He's overrated, but I compare them because I see them as the same kind of player. And I feel like they could do the same things.
Well, he's like, nickname is Big Play Slay, and he actually doesn't make that many big plays.
No, he doesn't. It's kind of like, who was feuding with Beckham?
Josh Norman?
Yeah.
He hasn't done shit in a while.
No, because
I do think he might get better on the Bills, though.
When I was researching...
The Redskins have a shitty defense.
Yeah, when I was researching this, like, stats and, all these things that the players have done, I, like, stumbled across Norman, and I was like, that rings a bell. And then I started looking him up, and I was like, damn, dude, you really just got that limelight and just shut down. Shut down.
Okay, so really quickly, if you're a good corner, like, it's kind of like Richard Sherman. If you're a good corner...
Yeah, and Richard.
Your numbers can go down compared to other corners because quarterbacks straight up avoid you. Yeah. They will straight up avoid you.
I mean, yeah, you don't get the opportunity to
Sherman
show
only
yourself
plays
up.
one side as well, so they'll just throw to the left side the whole fucking game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, numbers can be a little deceiving in that way with corners, but 72 tackles is still really impressive.
You only play one side and you get 72 tackles? I'm sorry, what?
And so a lot of people could be like, well, that means their wide receivers catching a lot of balls and they're tackling them. However, you said that he was the second player in the last 3 years with what?
With the most passes and
defensed?
No, forced incompletions.
Forced incompletions. That's
not intercepted, but
that's incredible.
Dude, the
so
other four
stats.
people in there, besides stats, just everything else, are in conversations daily as top cornerbacks.
Yeah.
People don't talk about Fuller. We talk about Bears him because we see him.
Bears fans talk about
But
Fuller.
even we don't give him enough love. Like, he's out there.
No, one of our friends hates him and says he's
yeah.
trash. And I'm just like, how could you possibly say that? He also doesn't know football.
You would also never say that to his face.
I've also had multiple arguments with him about football, and I should stop arguing with him about football because he doesn't actually know football. But yeah, he thinks he's trash, and I'm just like, you're a diehard Bears fan, and you're going to call one of our best defensive players trash. He's literally probably our third or fourth. Our defense is so good, like saying third or fourth best player. Him and Eddie Jackson, very close. Khalil Mack, I would say, is better than him.
I'd say Khalil Quinn.
No, well, Quinn. We haven't seen Quinn in a Bears uniform yet, so let's not keep him.
Not in our team, but I will. Because it's kind of like Khalil coming in. I already knew. So for me, it's Khalil. And then Robert Quinn. I would probably put Fuller at number 3, honestly.
Yeah.
He's proven himself. I don't need...
I like our linebackers, but Danny Trevathan, he's good, but to me, he's more of a leader than he is a great playmaker.
He's more...
Roquan Smith,
he's more of a
great
Jason
year
Hayward.
one.
He's
year
more of a
two,
Jason Hayward. Yeah.
So, I think Kyle Fuller, I would put him at second or third. Eddie Jackson and him, I feel like, are really fucking close.
I feel like week by week they go like this.
Yeah, they're both really phenomenal players.
Fuller has done this since 2014.
He's way better than fucking Prince was. Prince gave me a fucking headache every fucking week. So...
Oh, I mean, every time something happened with him, I'm like, why couldn't Fuller be there?
Well, because he only plays one fucking side. Which is his one downside. I wish Kyle Fuller could move to wherever the top wide receiver is. Because all you have to do is move your top wide receiver to the other side, and they're going to be against probably our rookie corner, Jalen Johnson, this year.
Yeah.
So that's a huge difference. They'll just probably keep him out there the whole fucking game. Why move him over to the Fuller side?
Yeah, I mean, there's no point to in that sense. But it's all these little things that come into fruition when it comes to game time. And for one, his experience, two, his skill, and three, the fact that like we just recently re-signed him. There was a lot of talks about whether or not
we
we're
like
gonna
didn't.
keep him.
I believe we didn't pick up his 5th-year contract, and we were like, you got to earn it. And then he fucking went out there and earned it, just
And
like
I'm
Mitch.
glad- and I'm-
just like Mitch should do
And
this
I'm
year.
glad we didn't do that typical shit where we were like, maybe we can just draft somebody. No, he's
No.
good. You're gonna give up someone that's in the top 5 for.
Well, he wasn't at the time. He did pretty poorly until his 5th year, and then they didn't pick up his 5th-year option. That's when he kind of blew up and started playing really great. So I think maybe that forced him to be like, okay, what can I do? How hard can I work? Kind of thing. I want to hear your stats though. I want to hear what you think he's going to do next year.
Well, I already said.
Does he also wait? Does he have any sacks? Do we know if he has any sacks?
I don't. I couldn't. I don't. No, I didn't find any. There might be. I might have just not looked hard enough, but
He doesn't rush. I don't think I've seen him rush a quarterback
No.
really ever.
I mean,
It's more of a safety thing than it is a corner.
the solo tackles per game though, he did tie Kenny Moore last year for most solo tackles per game, which is 4.5. 4.5 a game. Seeing a player consistently get 4.5 a game,
That's good.
that gave me hope. I mean, I saw Prince miss a lot. Saw Eddie Jackson get some.
Prince
miss
was
some.
always on his fucking stomach because he would slip, fall. Then the wide receiver catches the ball and runs downfield to where Clinton Dix catches him and tackles him, which is why I think Clinton Dix's numbers were so jacked up on tackles last year, is because fucking Prince couldn't tackle anybody because he was slipping all over the fucking field, letting them run down, and so was the only one there to fucking make a play,
Yeah.
which is why I think his numbers are kind of blown out of proportion.
Yeah, no, that could be it. I mean, obviously, I already said 82. I think he's gonna go for 82 solo tackles.
It's insane.
Yeah, I might regret it, but
Yeah, I think you're gonna regret that. I'm writing this down, by the way. 82 tackles.
I think he's gonna get 5 interceptions, at least 80 return yards on those. At least I feel like
80 return yards?
I feel
on
like
5?
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna. I think they're all gonna be crucial. Like
No, dude, he jumps routes, and when he jumps routes, there's no one normally
I don't
there
care.
from him to
I
the
don't
end zone.
care.
All right, I'm just saying I think he's gonna get more than that.
I don't care though.
Okay,
I,
so
I don't think they're gonna be those kinds of interceptions. I think they're gonna be the interceptions where he gets it. It's
I'm
to
gonna
end
mark
the game.
down mine.
It's to end the game, and he's literally down. I'm not gonna run. There's gonna be one where he gets it and he just fucking takes off and scores a touchdown. So yes,
I'm
one
gonna
return
go-
touchdown. Write that down.
One return touchdown.
The rest are gonna be crucial moments. Get down on the ground, and that's it.
Okay. I'm gonna go with 120 yards. 2 TDs. I'm not gonna mess. Your tackles I think are a little high. I would be pumped if he hit the same numbers last year, so I'm gonna go with just 70. And I like 5 INTs. I like that. I
It's
like
getting
that.
interesting. You guys should comment what you think Kyle Fuller's going to get next year, because if you're a Bears fan, we all know Kyle Fuller is a Bear that is going to put up numbers in some regard. So let's make this we'll make a list. We'll write down everybody, write down your name, write down where your city, and whoever is closest at the end of the season, either we'll fuck each other over in some way or we'll send you guys something.
Yeah, we'll figure out something where either you guys, us fucking each other over doesn't get that one person anything more. So we'll send you something. We'll figure it out a little bit later on.
They get to see us suffer.
But yeah, so you guys let us know what you guys think Kyle Fuller's stats are going to be, what Akiem Hicks' stats are going to be. Closest person will get something from us.
On each, Akiem Hicks and Kyle Fuller.
Yeah, one person on each. And if you don't agree with those breakout players, let us know who you think is going to be a breakout player and why. And if you can, please, again, help us out. Subscribe to our channel. We would really appreciate it.